Hi, I'm Laura Shirley, SVG artist at Carta Design and a grandma who loves paper crafting. Today, I'm going to show you how to make my Fairytale Carriage pop-up card. Enjoy! Start with the 5x10 base card. It is folded both directions several times to give it the most flexibility. Pop-up cards need a lot of flexible folds. So I think that should do it. Then I'm going to put on the first layer onto the front of the card. So now, when you pick it up, it should be pretty weighty, which means that if your fold is very flexible, it should just stay open. Now we can work on the pop-ups. So I'm going to set this aside for just a moment. And we're going to work on the front side first. Make sure that the windows are lined up with the windows on the carriage, and that the horse's collar fits over the horse's face handsomely. Okay, good. Now we've got one more extra piece for this side of the carriage, and that is the gold layer for the back. So you see that we've got a score line here in the middle, and we want to line that up with the score line here. Okay, now what we're going to do is, now that all the pieces are together, we're going to fold it. Okay, and we're going to start with the top, and we're going to work our way down. So the top of this piece actually gets folded inside. So this is going to be what we call a mountain fold, because when you look at it, it looks like a mountain. Look at it from the side, it looks like a mountain, as opposed to a valley fold, which when you look at it from the side would look like a valley. So this is a mountain fold, and this one is a mountain fold. And be sure that you really fold them at the scores. That's very important, because it will make a difference on how the structure works. So be very careful. And again, I recommend folding it a couple times back and forth, because this is going to be part of the pop-up structure itself, and you want to make sure that all these folds are very free and flexible. The last fold for this piece is a valley fold that goes underneath the carriage and the horse. Okay, so this is going to be a valley fold. Right, it looks like a valley. Okay, until now, everything we've done is a mountain fold. And then we've got one valley fold here. Okay, and you can see inside of here, if you would like to put some people, you can put some people inside of there. So visualize where they will end up if you want to use them. And I'm just going to use the princess for now. And I'm going to put her in here. So I know that if I put her just a little bit below the fold line, I'll be able to see her inside the carriage. Okay, now you ready to work some magic? So this is how we make a pop-up structure. We're going to start with this side. And it's very important that you get the pop-up structure lined up with the score. And in this case, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to put a line on the score, because that line is going to be covered up. Nobody's going to see it, but it will help us know exactly where to put things. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be putting these two pieces right against the bottom score line. Now let's make sure that we've got it right. Okay, so this is the front of the card, and they're going to open it up like this. And so I want the horse pointing that way when they open this up. So I'm going to put these here. And you notice that they're not the same heights. And that's because the carriage and the horse are not the same heights. But we're going to glue them there, and they should glue exactly in the right spot. The tabs are made to fit exactly into the card, the width of the card. So I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to put a lot of glue. This is really important that this sticks well. One thing to keep in mind is to always make sure your glue goes right up against the fold, but not over it. All right, so now we're going to fold it under again with our valley fold, and we're going to stick it right here, right up to the line so we can still see the line. It's going to go straight up against the line. All right. Okay, now you say, how are we going to do this? It doesn't line up. It will. It'll work. Okay, we're going to pull this up and line it up right up against the other section and right in between the other section, the right side of the card width, and the fold line. It's going to be perfectly straight like that. Okay. Okay, and once it's had a chance to really stick, now we're going to do the other part. So we're going to put glue here, and this one is a bit easier, but you'll see why we have a different kind of fold here than all the other folds on the pop-up. To make sure that that is evenly distributed right up to, but not over, the fold line. Okay, now we're going to pull this down and we're going to line it up right up to the edge of the other tab of the other side. Okay, and it needs to be equally distributed between the card and right up against the tab. Now we're going to turn our card around. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we're going to go to the other side of the center fold score line that we drew on our card base. We're going to put the horse there. We're also at the same time going to make sure that the pop-up pieces are exactly lined up. You see that? Each of the pieces are a mirror image of each other. Okay, all right. And I would give that a few moments to cure. And there's one last fold that you need to do. And be really careful to find the score. There it is. Okay, and you've got a little over 1/4 of an inch here to glue it onto your carriage. So this will be a little bit tricky. It's very important that you put a good amount of glue right up to the fold lines. And then you might want to use a pair of tweezers to set it into place. and put some pressure on it. Some pressure on one side, and then put some pressure on the other side. The last couple of steps. So we have a golden top with a crown for our carriage, for the roof of the carriage. So it's going to go like this and like this, but we want the crowns to stick up. So we've got score lines on the crowns right at the base and right here. Okay, and what we want to do is first, to make sure that these line up perfectly, we want to glue them together. And then we're going to glue the whole thing to the carriage. So I'm going to put glue on one of the crowns and a good amount right up to the line. Okay. Now I'm going to line these up and I'm going to glue them together so that they are perfectly mirrored. In between the two folds, I'm going to void that, but I'm going to put it on everything else. All right, now I'm going to lay this down. And that should fit perfectly. And I'm going to pull the crown up so it stands up straight. All right. It should cover the whole carriage top. All right, but it should not interfere with the pop-up structure. So let it sit for just a moment. I should be able to close the card, and then up pops the carriage. So what I've done is I made our message the same way that I did on the front of the card. So I've got it in layers. And I need to glue it in layers. So we'll glue the message right underneath the tabs for the horse and the carriage, right centered in between the card sides, so that when the card is opened, that's what they'll read. Then you have a beautiful carriage pop-up. I sure hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Come to bellacartadesign.com for even more inspiration.